Well, boys and girls, it's time for us to buckle our seatbelts and get ready for another yearly dose of Michael Bay-inspired action shooter called Call of Duty. Here we go again. Now, before I do my review, I would just like to state right now that, as you can tell from the title down below, that I will only be reviewing the campaign of Call of Duty Ghosts, simply because I have no interest in reviewing the multiplayer or the extinction mode, because I just have no interest in them. Now, that being said, jumping into the campaign itself, you apparently play mostly as the character named Logan Walker, who's on this little trip with his dad and his brother when all of a sudden his hometown is attacked by a massive orbital strike from this machine in orbit named the Odin Cannon. It is then revealed that the Odin Cannon, which is United States owned, has been invaded and taken over by a faction group called the Federation, who has managed to cripple the United States' defenses and has taken over a good portion of the world, turned it against the United States, and now you sit in a 10-year stalemate between forces. And then after that stalemate happens, you then join this faction of elite soldiers called the Ghost, who worked with your father, and you basically have to venture from location to location to location, taking down these Federation facilities while also being hunted down by a rogue Ghost operative named Rourke. And you basically have to take down the Federation, prevent the United States' ultimate destruction, and kill Rourke in the process. Now, I have to be honest, now, in terms of overall storyline for Call of Duty Ghosts, it was pretty linear and not all that interesting to me. Your character, Logan, does not talk, and I really hate it when your main character doesn't talk, because now I don't feel like a character. I feel like just a mindless drone just going around shooting everything in sight. The ghosts themselves aren't all that interesting. I really don't see what's the attraction with this elite group of ghosts. There's a narration at the beginning of the game that tells about this legendary story about how the ghosts took on this massive force and how they were deemed as inhuman and are these ultimate badass. But we never actually see that. They seem to operate just like any standard elite team of American soldiers. They're just like, I don't know, Special Forces or the Navy SEALs. So the only difference I saw was that they were just wearing paint and masks with, I don't know, teeth on it or something. So I didn't really get that. The main villain, Rourke, isn't hardly in the game, and they spend so much time talking about Rourke. It's like, we gotta get Rourke, and Rourke killed this person. We gotta hunt him down, and what's this guy's problem? Why is he hunting the ghosts? And he's really not in the game long enough to really be interesting at all. And it just felt too much linear. What I really enjoyed about Black Ops 2's storyline was the fact that your choices or your actions actually did change the direction of the game itself. There were certain characters who could die, there were certain missions that you could play as, so it's the fact that there was a much more vast diversity in storyline directions that made Black Ops 2 so interesting, and that's non-existent here. Now, what the game does lack in story, it makes up for it in its gameplay styles. This, in my opinion, clearly has the most vast forms of gameplay formulas and styles and mechanics. Earlier on in the game, and even near the end of the game, you actually get to fight in orbit, and I was actually quite surprised how well that formula mechanic worked. Earlier on in the game, you also get this little dog. Well, he's not really a little dog, he's kind of a big dog, named Riley, which you can actually control, and you can actually send him into a combat area, and you can actually have him attack enemy AIs and rip their throats out. Later on in the game, you also get to go into the ocean and swim around and have a gun battle in there, and there's even sharks that can actually attack you, which brings a great sense of suspense, which I hadn't felt in a Call of Duty game in a long time. And you can also control various vehicles. You get to fly an Apache helicopter and blow stuff up. You get to go in a tank and blow stuff up. And you can even control a giant orbital cannon and blow lots of things up, which I have to say, the look of the game was pretty amazing at sometimes. But it's just the fact that overall, most of these campaign missions felt the same. They had the same type of formulas, as in the missions would start out kind of slow, and then something bad would happen, and then you have to spend like the last 5 minutes just kind of rushing through it. It's like, oh snap, we gotta get out of here. They found our position. We've been found out. We gotta get out. We have to blow this place up. We have to get out. We have to get out. We need to get in that car. You need to take the turret. You need to start shooting the enemies. We need to blow stuff up. It basically goes straight into Michael Bay style ending, where you have to end it with this massive explosions, and about 90% of these missions end that way, and it just got repetitive and linear. This is a formula that they have been using throughout most of the Call of Duty games, and I just thought that this being not quite the first directly influential game for the next-gen systems that we have, I just felt that they would at least hold back from that. But I guess this is going to be like, hopefully this will be the last Call of Duty that feels this way, because all of these games for the past 4 or 5 years have kind of had this formula, and I'm just getting a little bit tired of it. But there is enough variety in the gameplay styles to keep it interesting. So if you guys are not interested in Call of Duty at all, I would actually recommend that you try this just for those various styles of gameplay. Now, Call of Duty Ghosts is not perfect, and the campaign is lackluster and not interesting at most parts. But as I said, the most interesting thing is the gameplay styles, and there are a few extras. There's a good collection of trophies and achievements that you can collect that I currently am doing. So in a whole, just judging Call of Duty Ghosts from the campaign alone, I have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely a step above Modern Warfare 3, because I thought that game was just way too linear and the storyline was just too much all over the place, but not quite as good as Black Ops 2 with its diversity in storyline elements. So, if you like this game review, please feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check me my future movie, video game reviews, and topic videos. And you can also press one of the links in the description down below to follow me on Twitter and friend me on Facebook, and I will be sure to friend you and follow you back. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.